Y'all, Paizo just doesn't miss! In case you're not aware, Paizo came out of the woodwork yesterday at the time of recording this with one of the most based takes I've seen in a long freaking time. They put their cards on the table and said, this is where we stand, we are not afraid to be confident and tell you this is where we stand, and if you don't like it, sucks to be you. Okay, they didn't use those terms exactly, but I kinda wish they did. So if you've been living under a rock for the past 6 months, maybe you haven't heard of the crazy advancements of AI-generated art. And following that, the insane amount of war going on about AI art. Now, I am not an artist, however, I do have many friends who are artists and have voiced their concerns to me about AI art and its ability to steal work from them. While I am not in that marketplace, it is not my place to say what is and isn't correct. I will stand by my friends and stand with artists in solidarity, in that, in its current form, AI art is not a replacement for real-world artists. Especially not with its current morally gray algorithm. You see, the problem with AI art right now is it's a learning algorithm. You know, there's a reason that AI is able to create things that seem as if they made it themselves. It's because they use an algorithm that's being fed literal hundreds of thousands, if not millions of images, and then uses those images and splices them together to create something that meets the parameters. If you tell AI art, I want to see a lion that is sleeping in... My brain shut off. Let's try that again. If you tell AI art that you want to see a Super Saiyan Goku fighting Naruto, it probably can make something weirdly amalgamatory resemble what you asked it to, except they won't have real hands. But the problem comes with the fact that the artwork the algorithm is using to meet your parameters was not necessarily given with consent. Some of it absolutely has been, and I have no problem with art being consensually given to an AI algorithm to help it learn to procedurally generate new artworks. The problem I do have is when the AI artwork is ripping art non-consensually from places like Twitter or Instagram and feeding those images into their algorithm without the artist's permission. And we already know this is happening because the algorithm doesn't know what it's actually putting on the screen. So oftentimes when you generate an image, you might get like a weird blurry scribble in the corner because it's replicating the original artist's signature, and artists have seen their signature on AI art and come out to say, hey, this isn't consensual, we didn't put this here, they stole that. So while I think AI art could be interesting if it was one wholesome work together project, in its current form, I do not believe it is. You know, in the future, if AI art does advance in a certain way, especially if it gets to a point where it could like output an editable Photoshop file where the artist can then go through different layers and edit it and actually perfect it, because AI art will never quite have the same flair as a human artist, but it could save a lot of time in the future. We're nowhere near that. Right now, it is an immoral, heavily gray area. Honestly, even being gray is being kind of nice to it all. It's barely gray. It's just completely immoral if the art is not given with consent. Why do I go on such a tirade and such a tangent about AI art when I started this video talking about Paizo? Well, that's because I'm trying to fill runtime to hit the 8-minute mark to add an ad. Well, that's because Paizo has just gone on record yesterday, March 1st, claiming they are banning AI-generated content, both for their own works, obviously, and on Pathfinder and Starfinder Infinite. Pathfinder Infinite and Starfinder Infinite are marketplaces where you can write, format, and sell your own third-party content under the Pathfinder license. In fact, it gives you complete access to all of their first-party content, like proper nouns, deities, all that stuff, you know? It's a fantastic place with some fantastic creators, and I'll leave a link to both Pathfinder and Starfinder Infinite in the description of this video. But Paizo has made a sweeping statement today, and I think it is fantastic. So it's a short post. I'm going to go ahead and read it here word for word for you and go over everything they've said here. Over the last few months, the world has seen a huge upsurge in interest, use, and quality of algorithm-generated imagery and text. That's not even something I covered here, is text is terrifying. About a week ago, I was hanging out with some friends in Discord, and I managed to get into ChatGPT. I said, create a new D&D class for me. And it did. It was called the Spirit Weaver. It was a wisdom caster. It had rules for like embodying specific types of spirits, which would grant the class different unique abilities depending on the spirit chosen. It gave different types of spirits you can use. It gave you different ways to cast your magic and bonuses. It was wild how much ChatGPT was able to just come up with a class out of nowhere. And I honestly had the thought while doing it, like, wow, this takes away 50% of the effort. You know, it gave me an entire list of potential abilities. It gave me flavor. It gave me everything I needed. I could have finished that class probably in less than an hour. But again, it's not necessarily unique. Even ChatGPT uses information from across the internet to write it. You know, there's a reason it knew how to format things. There's a reason it knew which levels to give abilities, meaning none of what was written was technically unique. And those special abilities could have potentially been taken by an existing 5e homebrew, and I wouldn't really have any way of knowing that. So, with all that gray morality in the air, Paizo is banning it. Since we launched the company in 2002, Paizo has made its reputation with the assistance of countless traditional artists and writers who are just as integral to the success of our games as our in-house editors, art directors, designers, and developers. I love Paizo. Have I ever said that before? Have I ever told you how much I love Paizo? The fact that they give their freelancers so much love. A lot of companies will bring freelancers on, have them written, give them their paycheck, and then say, we wrote this. But really, Paizo has never shied away from saying our freelance writers, everybody, even like not just our in-house, but those who come on for one project are still important. And I love you for that, Paizo. The ethical and legal issues surrounding AI art and writing prompt programs, and the serious threat they pose to the livelihoods of partners who have helped us get to where we are today as a company, demand that we take a firm position against the use of this technology in Paizo products. Again, I love it. They've made this personal. They're saying this is a personal choice. They're doing the smart thing. They're not making a sweeping statement saying AI art bad. They're saying it goes against our beliefs. And from a company standpoint, that is such a smart way to do things. In the coming days, Paizo will add new language to its creative contracts that stipulate that all work submitted to us for publication be created by a human. Excuse me, Paizo. Are you saying my dog can't live out her dream of writing for Pathfinder? She tells me every night how she can't wait to publish her first class, the Dogomancer. Are you going to ruin her dreams of posting the Dogomancer? She's just going to have to post it under a pen name, you know? She'll just be... Her name is Ka. She'll just have to post it as Katrina, the human, posting the Dogomancer. This joke went on too long. We will further add guidance to our Pathfinder and Starfinder Infinite program FAQs, clarifying that AI-generated content is not permitted on either community content marketplace. Our customers expect a human touch to our releases, and so long as the ethical and legal circumstances surrounding these programs remains murky and undefined, we are unwilling to associate our brands with the technology in any way. Once again, echoing what I said at the beginning of this video. Right now, it's too morally gray. It's too, they put it the best way, murky and undefined. As long as there is non-consensual art being used in the algorithm, I, for one, will never be comfortable with using AI art. Again, if they hire on 50,000 artists, pay them a yearly salary to each draw, 5 pieces a month and feed all of those into the algorithm, that's fantastic. That is giving jobs to 50,000 artists to make their AI art work. It is giving back to the community that right now they're just taking from. Stated plainly, when you buy a Paizo product, you can be sure that it is the work of human professionals who have spent years honing their craft to produce the best work we can. Paizo will not use AI-generated creative work of any kind for the foreseeable future. I can't tell if that's shade or like a legal loophole in case it does improve at some point and they want to use it. But right now I kind of love the shade that AI-generated content is not creative. Because literally it's not. Like if we're talking straight up, literally, it is not creative. Creativity is bringing something new into the world that didn't exist before. But if you just take 10 pieces of something and rearrange them, that is not new. AI can never create. They can only manipulate. Put that on a t-shirt. Damn! We thank the human artists and writers who have been so integral to our success in the past, and we look forward to working with them for many years to come. Overall, just a huge W from Paizo, planting their feet on the ground, saying, here's where we stand. If you want to push us over, you're gonna need a damn good athletics score. So yeah, that's all I really have to say on this subject. I explained it all sort of as I went. AI art in its current form is just not morally correct, and I don't see it changing anytime soon, because all of the AI art programs tend to be a little bit aggro. I haven't followed any of them super closely, but all of the interactions I've seen are very us versus them, with no attempt to meet in the middle, which is the internet for you. So, love Paizo, huge W from them. That's all from me. Have a great one, and don't be a jerk.